We're finally doing it. After ranking every season, then recapping every winning game, I figured it's about time we rank the winners. And no, this is not based on who I like the most. This is not based on which seasons are my favorite. I promise I'm going to be doing everything in my power to remain as unbiased as possible, which means internet. Hold on tight. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Last summer, I put together the longest video series on my channel, recapping every winning game of Big Brother. There is a mega compilation out there if you want to check it out. It took me the longest of any series in 7 years of doing this. After I finished putting it all together, I realized there was never a better time to rank these winners than right then and there. And so I did. I spent a lot of time going over what I think makes for the best winning games. Dominance, power, control, manipulation, a strong social game, tactical game, adaptability, being clutch at comps. And overall, how do I feel about their game in a vacuum? If they played Big Brother 100 times, do they win 99 more? Or 0? Regardless though, I'm only ranking the games the winners played in the seasons that they played, not any other appearances before or after. So I'm not going to be talking about Nicole on BB16 or Dan on BB14 or Will on BB7. Well, okay, I'll talk a little bit about them, but nope, just the seasons they won is what I'm ranking. Adjust your expectations accordingly. Now, before I get to last place with number 25, I want to mention that I'm not including Big Brother 1 because the game makes it completely different from the rest. I'm also not going to be including the offshoot seasons such as Over the Top, Celebrity, or Reindeer Games. This is strictly Big Brother 2 to Big Brother 26, the last full season to wrap up as of right now. Season 27's winner is gonna get left out, and who knows, maybe they would be number 1. Guess we'll have to wait and see next summer. Also, full spoilers ahead for literally every season. It goes without saying, but it's being said anyway. And then lastly, I want to say this before we get to it. My rankings are not entirely set in stone. At least not yet. I am still getting them carved into a monument outside my house. But I do want to say I tweak my rankings all the time. Slight adjustments here and there as new info or perspectives pop up. Or just my values change for what makes someone better at the game. If I had made this video 5 years ago or at the start of my channel, I don't think it would be the same, but hey, here we are, and I can say that I currently feel pretty solid with my ranking, and I do believe it is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. But as always, I welcome feedback, especially with the top 5. I think the top 5 is going to be where most of this conversation is held. But with 25 winning games, we have 5 winners spread across 5 videos, and so here we go. Ranking every Big Brother winner, Part 1. Number 25. Let's rip the band-aid off and get out our pots and pans because in last place, 25 out of 25. From Big Brother 8, it's Evil Dick Donato. And despite being in last place, I think his game does have merit to it, and if you feel like he's being robbed, hey, more power to you. I have difficulty with the whole America's player of it all. How a major twist had a player, Eric, voting against his better judgment to help Dick all season. When Dick needs a pivotal vote at the final 9, he gets it thanks to Eric being forced to flip on his allies. When Eric wins the veto at the final 7 and wants to use it to backdoor Danielle, he is suddenly told he's not allowed to, and now the Donatos are still alive. These 2 major pain points make me feel as if Dick loses way more than he wins because his moment-to-moment gameplay makes him incredibly undesirable to have as an ally. Tactically, he is decent. He gets the game better than most players who walk through the door. Better in ways than winners that are going to be coming up ahead of him. He's able to build alliances and adapt. He can be very clutch at comps, and he did ultimately beat his daughter. He did win. But then I realized that he loses to everyone else from the jury onward, bar maybe Jen. And so if Eric can use his veto like he intended, Dick loses because Danielle isn't there. Dick had very low win equity because his gameplay with this cast was poor. His decision to antagonize and piss everyone off only served to make his path to the end tougher, not easier, on a constant basis. The only help he had was his daughter winning comps and Eric flipping key players despite not wanting to. Dick has no idea that this is happening, and while it's about to make him $500,000 richer, it is also going to stain a lot of the integrity of this season. Dick does get himself into hot water, and if America's player doesn't exist, perhaps he's not blowing up Eric's game in that pre-jury with that failed backdoor attempt when Danielle was HOH, because he doesn't then scorn his alliance, the LNC, and he marches on with them deep into the game. But all of that is fan fiction. Instead, what we got was him losing his good position, digging himself into a hole, and getting repeatedly saved by a twist he had no idea was in the game. I cannot in good faith put him above who I have next on my list because of all of this, even though I thought about it. And for all of this, I have him in last place.
I stand before you merely as a courtesy flush to the pile of crap who sits next to me. And
That would be so funny.
I don't know, it's like a risk or whatever, but I don't.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
By a vote of 4-2, Dustin, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Dustin, if you're seeing this, I pulled off the biggest coup in the history of this show. Ha ha. See ya. This is like storybook, isn't it?
It is time to reveal the big twist of Big Brother 8. One of you has a secret. One of you is not all you appear to be.
I'm the big secret twist of Big Brother 8. I'm called America's Player.
Congratulations, Dick. You are the winner of Big Brother 8.
At number 24, almost 25, we have the winner from Big Brother 25. It would have been fitting, wouldn't it, if he was in last, but alas, I couldn't do it. Even though this entry for Jag Baines should probably start and end with the fact that he was evicted before the jury even began. The only winner thus far to get evicted on the same season they won, he was probably the most negative winner I talked about in my Road to Victory series last summer, if only because he had a lot of really bad weeks in comparison to most winners. I mean, never mind he gets evicted, but he then turns around after being saved by a twist and then nearly gets re-evicted a second time in the following week. It only took a last-minute change of plans by the powers that be to decide to spare Jag and instead evict Red just to ensure Red and Cameron wouldn't reunite. Because Red was asking too many questions and it spooked Cirie and company. Jag also had that awful week too when he gets spun around and led astray only to watch as his closest ally in the game, Riley, his final two ride or die, is evicted by week 2. But that's only after his majority alliance is blown up thanks to both Cameron and Jared, which, to be fair to Jag, I don't hold it against him that he didn't realize Jared was playing the game with his mom. But could you guys make the pecking order of family style any more obvious when you invite Corey and America into the alliance after it's been established and named? Jag just doesn't have this killer instinct to pick up what's being put down. He lacks intuitiveness. He weirdly goes down with a ship for no good reason when every red flag in the book is being raised and he still misses them. He does have a stronger second half when he wins every comp under the sun and just can't be evicted, and he convinces Matt to turn on Cirie, spares Corey for a week to instead target Cam, and convinces Bowie to stick with him over Matt by the final 3. I'm not going to just shortchange the guy. There's definitely some game there, but man, he left a lot to be desired. That invisible HOH week, wow, it's like doing everything wrong by getting to the right place. As well as some of the all-time worst pre-jury gameplay of any winner, and that was like 50 days. But I will say, at least America's Player didn't muck up the integrity of the game from the jump, so he'll always have that.
By a vote of 10-0, Jag, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Everything is just hitting the fan, and everyone is coming up and down stairs. It's like I'm the Grand Marshal of Cam's Chaos Week Parade.
Definitely want to clear the air.
Enough of this he said, she said. Let's just see if Jared's telling the truth.
Did I ever do that?
No, you never said that to me.
I never did.
Never said it to me.
Didn't Jared just come in and tell us that
Never said
an
it to
hour
me.
ago?
Jared is a liar. I don't know what Jared is doing, and I especially don't like that he's hurting my reputation with Corey and with my closest ally, Matt. I am standing where I am standing, and you are sitting where you are sitting because I have willed it to be that way. It is not by luck. It is not by a mistake. it is because I signed your eviction notice. My hands are covered in your blood. I am the most dominant, masterful, and strategic player in this house. You all need to make the right decision today so I can be crowned the first sick winner of Big Brother. It is the right thing to do, and I've earned it every step of the way.
Congratulations, Jag! You are the winner of Big Brother 25.
At number 23, I have the winner of Big Brother 11. It's Jordan Lloyd. Jordan, I could be here all day with her long resume, but suffice it to say, Jordan is one of the most underestimated winners of this bunch. Even I would underestimate her. I'm doing it right now, but I don't think that makes her underrated. Far from it. Mostly because Jordan doesn't get much done and is almost entirely riding shotgun next to every other ally on her side of the house. She doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but she also doesn't do a lot to make mistakes. If anything, her biggest flaw and why she is this low is that I don't see her ceiling for being a tactical strategic player to be that high. It wasn't on either season she played. She's unassuming, a small threat in comparison to anyone else, and not a comp beast. What she's good at is being likable, getting people to want to carry her, and that comes naturally for her. That's a good thing to have in Big Brother. She was working with half the house from the jump, and that bought her a lot of time. Although she did get helped immensely with the coup d'etat twist, and then her opposition throwing the game right after. But she is not in good positions for much of this season because she is not a proactive player. She mostly reacts, and even then, she reacted when Kevin lied to her about Russell at the final 6, and that wasn't the best look. I think Jordan is a perfect fit for games like Big Brother, as she'll usually go far and always have a decent chance to win given her plucky, disarming personality, but she doesn't really control her own fate a lot of the time, and otherwise, there's just not a lot to work with here, and I'm mostly just underwhelmed by her game.
I'm just like sitting back kind of watching like, he's hot with his shorts and the shirt off, you know, like a garden boy. When I first saw Jeff, I just thought he was a goober, kind of like all-American type guy. I thought he'd be stuck on himself.
That's why sometimes I just like to be alone, you know? But like then when you come in, I'm happier. I wish everyone was more like Jordan. I wish everyone shared the same heart as Jordan. She just reassured me that there are good people out there.
If you had to be any animal, what would you be?
An eagle,
Why?
because they're cool and they fly.
I would be a squirrel.
You could be any animal in the whole world and you'd be a squirrel.
What's wrong with the squirrel? They hang out in neighborhoods and stuff.
A squirrel.
Jeff's vote goes to congratulations, Jordan.
And then at number 22, we have a winner who definitely impressed me, albeit not enough to get that high, and it's the winner of Big Brother 13, Rachel Riley. The first returning player winner to make an appearance, unless I guess you count Jag. And the bar was pretty low for Rachel after her BB12 game, but I consider Big Brother 13 a decent improvement, all things considered. She did have a lot of help. Brandon was there with her again. She had a strong alliance built for her out of the gate with the vets that she also kind of jeopardized by week 2. Rachel's first half is pretty rough, even though she does win some of the newbies over like Portia and Dominic. She wins a bunch of comps. She also makes enemies though with Shelly and Cassie. Her second half is a bit better, but not so much that I put her higher on the list. And if anything, I could see many ranking Jordan above her. Rachel nearly gets evicted both at the Lawan boot and the double, but is spared. She gets bailed out at that final 6 thanks to a questionable Pandora's box twist and a timely reuse of the week 1 HOH that she won. But all in all, I give her props for being a lot more proactive than players like Jordan, for not getting evicted like Jag, and for not being bailed out too many times like Dick. She also does mend bridges on her own after Brendan leaves the second time and is able to play a more dominant endgame. And so while I do have a lot of criticisms for her game, and it is still bottom 5, I am willing to put her a bit higher because her mistakes were less damaging to her game than other winners. And like, look, we're in the bottom. It's gonna be rough down here.
Walking through that front door, I've been one of the biggest targets in this game. I was on the block nominated 4 times and on the block 5 times. I made strategic decisions this entire game. I have fought my heart out. When Brendan left the game, I had to reformulate my game entirely. I won 4 HOHs, 2 POVs, considered options, stayed true to my alliance, and stayed true to what I thought would be strategic game moves for myself to further myself in this game.
Jordan's vote goes to... Congratulations, Rachel. You are the winner of Big Brother.
Coming in at 21st out of 25, we have the infamous winner of Big Brother 19. It's Josh Martinez. Why is Josh this low? Well, because he's not Paul. Because he floundered out of the gate hard and put himself in a hole with that golden apple, then proceeded to get volatile and basically paint a big target on his back. Because, most of all, Josh's worst enemy is Josh. And he knew that. He was loud and confrontational, but also had a soft side too. He felt pangs of regret like all of us. Josh was inadvertently scooped up, although intentionally scooped up by the big dog on campus, Paul, and basically joined his ranks as a minion for hire. Josh fell in line quickly. I mean, he had nothing better going for him, and so Paul recognized how poor Josh was playing, so like, why not make this guy your ride or die? Take him to that final 2. Paul created the entire house structure with so many trio alliances across the table, and Josh was in one with Christmas and Paul. And really, Josh rode that gravy train as far as he could. The final 3. Similar to Jordan, Josh is a winner who gets underestimated due to their nature. In Josh's case, it's because he is such an annoying guy to live with, there's no way he'll win. But Josh also knew that Paul was his best bet to get to the end, and he took full advantage of that. He worked alongside Paul closer than anyone, which is saying something given everyone was working with Paul. Josh also knew Paul was his biggest threat, and at one point considered taking the guy out, which is a big deal for BB19. Ultimately, Josh realized Paul was also his own worst enemy, just like Josh himself, and so Josh began to utilize a clever tactic where he gave the jurors the truth on their way out, the goodbye messages. Paul was still lying while Josh was being honest with the future jurors. And so when Josh had the chance to finally evict Paul at the final 3, he chose not to, because he wanted to gamble on the notion that he could beat Paul against a bitter jury. That's the main reason I have Josh this high, which isn't great, but given BB19, it could be worse. Josh was self-aware and at times tactical, and he did contribute to Paul's power level in ways that helped himself too. Overall, he pales in comparison to that mastermind, but hey, you know, we can't all lose 5-4 twice in a row.
Paul came up with an elaborate plan in order to get you out. And I've been in a final 3 alliance with Christmas and Paul for a while now.
Jason, if you're seeing this right now, you left me with a bunch of counterfeits.
I think that everybody thinks about friendship, and Paul is now obsolete. Now he can take his bracelets and pitch them.
Take a deep breath.
I'd like to just run straight for like a really long time.
You won.
Congratulations, Josh. You are the winner of Big Brother.
Phew, and there we have it, the bottom 5 winning games of Big Brother, number 21 through 25, and we've still got 20 more winners in contention for that top spot. So, at the bottom of the well here, let me know what you think about my picks and who you expect to see in part 2. Who would you say are the bottom 5 worst winning games in Big Brother? That's kind of the question of the hour here. This is like top 5 worst Big Brother winning games. Who you got? A big thank you to my patrons for all your support. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to put the pots and pans back where you found them on your way out, and I will see you in the next one. Once I pour myself another glass of some ice cold cherry Kool-Aid.
Podrick Racer wants to know, what was your favorite flavor of Kool-Aid that Paul made in the house, and was it good?
Oh, It was like a cherry flavor.
Yeah.
It was delicious. Anything Paul makes, honestly, is good. I can see why last season they thought he was like an undercover chef because
Yeah.